welcome to the It Doesn't Hold Up podcast. We review and reevaluate all things we remember fondly from our childhood and years prior to see if they still hold up, and more often than not, they probably don't. I'm Stuart Shepherd, along with my co-host and good friend Michael Smith. Smith, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Stu. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Good. Hold on a second. I think we need to. There's somebody else on the line. Sorry. Who the fuck are you?
Oh, yes. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice we do actually have an intruder on the set. But this is the special guest we were talking about from last episode. So, no, stop
I
pulling
don't
faces,
like it.
Smith.
I don't like it.
You don't like change, do
Wrong.
you?
It's wrong.
No.
Get off my lawn.
So, this is the guitarist from the band Riff Dealer. He has been a fan of the show since day one, and he's our very good friend and friend from school. This is Alex Lewis. Please welcome Mr. Alex Lewis.
Hello, everybody. Really glad to be here. Thank you very much for having me, guys. And hopefully, I bring some fun and nonsense to the podcast.
I hope you do.
Well, as long as
Otherwise,
you bring fun, because there's no fun here.
just nonsense.
I'm not I'm a nonsense man and notoriously not fun.
Yeah. Well, Alex is our first guest on the show, and depending on how today's go, we may never have a guest again. So let's.
Pressure at all.
So we'll see. We'll see how we get on. No, it's quite up having you on, Alex, and we'll get into that in a minute when it's this episode's nomination. But first, I want to talk about last episode's feedback, which was Romancing the Stone. Got some feedback here. So, one, great film. Cool, thanks. Uh,
Top analysis. Thanks
top
for that.
analysis.
That you have really added a lot to the conversation, and I applaud you,
Absolutely.
sir or madam. But let's face it, sir.
Probably, sir. Yeah. Cool podcast, guys. Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you. What point do you stop saying Happy New Year? Maybe the end of
January
January?
2nd.
Oh, okay. Fine. Fine.
If you coming to me on the 5th of Jan with a Happy New Year, you can get fucked.
Fine.
Not
Therefore,
having
too
it.
late. What a classic. Also, it was the 80s. It was the 80s.
Yes, well done. You've identified a year.
Yeah. The last one was great pod as always, guys. See you both soon. I wonder who gave us that feedback.
Well,
Any ideas, Alex?
not a clue.
Not a clue.
I'll get our best guys on it, and we'll come back to you with an answer next week.
Bye.
Up, men.
Yeah. So before we move on to this episode's nomination, Smith, is there anything you want to say further on Romance in the Stone? And Alex, is there anything actually you want a little tidbit you want to add on Romance in the Stone?
Well, I'll
No,
go first.
Yeah, you go first, Smith.
Yeah, I'll go first. You interloper. No, I decided I might watch Jewel of the Nile. Got 3 minutes in, and then decided I might not watch Jewel of the Nile, and went and did something else.
Was you drunk or did you just get bored? Or a bit of both?
I will leave that for you to decide.
Drunk.
Yeah.
And Alex, have you gone back and rewatched this, or was it just our podcast you listened to on this?
I did watch it, and I, like you, had got completely confused between Jewel of the Nile and Romancing the Stone, and I was like, wait a minute, what? And then oh yeah, that ending, very Indiana Jones.
Jones.
Yeah, it was just, a lot of it came back to me, but I watched it after I saw the podcast.
There was something, and I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I was watching Cadillac Man with Robin Williams. Have you ever seen Cadillac Man with Robin Williams?
Mm-mm.
The guy, it's not very good. The guy who plays Ira is in Cadillac Man, and I've completely, because I hadn't really thought it was in much else, but he's in Cadillac Man with Robin Williams and Tim Robbins, and that film features a business being held hostage by an armed gunman. So it all ties in together quite nicely with today's choice.
Interesting. Well, yeah, without further ado, let's talk about this episode's nomination. So, this is Airheads from 1994. But as I mentioned on the last episode, the reason why I chose this was I was watching Alpha Papa. That film was really funny, and it jogged my memory of this. And in this is when I thought, who better than to come on this podcast and talk about this than Alex, metal and rock enthusiast himself. So, yeah, a brief synopsis. This is about the band, the Lone Rangers, three guys who desperately want to get signed to a contract. So they take their demo tape to a radio station, break in and hold them hostage until they play their demo. That's about it. It's very Die Hard-esque.
It's not the most labyrinthine of plots.
No, it is not. But yeah, as mentioned, it did come out in 1994, which we have done to death. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. Alex is going to take us through what was going through the music scene in 1994. So sorry, Smith, you may stand out.
Well, if you just give me a minute then.
Smith's opening a beer if you're not watching on YouTube.
After you, Alex.
Yeah, we didn't get a microphone. The beer can opening was sadly muted, but in 1994 was a big year for music. So we had the first nu metal album from Korn. We had the industrial scene taking off with Fear Factory, Rammstein, and Marilyn Manson coming out. We had dance crossover stuff coming with Prodigy and music for the Jilted Generation. Nine Inch Nails released a Downward Spiral. And as is referenced in this film, there was a lot of a hardcore and rap crossover with Anthrax and Public Enemy. We had Body Count coming out, Biohazard, loads of good stuff. The Beastie Boys released Sabotage. And, you know, this is all around that sort of same time where 1994 was the big melting pot. And lots of change was coming. So like stoner scene started to come along with like Caius releasing like Welcome to Sky Valley. You had the pop punk like bands all started out in 94. So Green Day's first big album, Dookie, came out in 94. Offspring came out with Smash. It was just absolutely going off everywhere. And in the UK, we had Britpop with Blur releasing Park Life. We had Oasis with Definitely Maybe. And amongst all of that, there was also a massive indie scene with like the Cranberries coming out and Jeff Buckley and Weezer all starting in 1994. But mainly, because this is very US centric, it was all about grunge having killed heavy metal from the 80s, and now grunge having itself, as it were, killed off when Kurt Cobain committed suicide. And there was only a couple more really big grunge albums that came after that with, you know, Stone Temple Pilots and Smashing Pumpkins coming out in 95 with Melancholy. So big changes in music, massive changing of the guard, and particularly in the States, there was like the beginnings of lots of subgenres. So 94 was a big year.
And what was Cliff Richard doing around that
time? I think at the time he was preparing to be raided by police at a later date.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Yeah, actually, throw it back to
that
was
very interesting. I've got some of those albums, so
yeah. Well, I was going to say,
quite the musical ignoramus I might appear.
What were you guys listening to in 1994? Because some of those albums you reeled off, Alex, like Dookie and Definitely Maybe and Part Life of that, but I had those though. I was listening to those at what, the age of 9 or 10. So yeah, what were you guys listening to?
I wasn't listening to any of those things at that age. So like stuff like Dookie or Melancholy and stuff like that was not. I listened to those later, so I probably wasn't listening to any sort of actual good music until I was in secondary school.
Right. What about yourself, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I was all on the Nirvana and Guns N' Roses trip, even at a young age.
Yeah,
so my dad was like a big, like rock head. So it was like I grew up listening to like the Stones, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Bon Jovi, GNR, so all of that stuff. So basically, when Airheads come out, I was like, "Oh, there is rock music in it. I will watch that."
Well, I was mainly listening to Meet the Flintstones by the BC-50s. So think on that.
What a tune. Yeah. I was similar to you, Alex. I was heavily influenced by my dad, but also my brother, because my brother played the guitar, so he listened to a lot of this stuff. But our dad was a massive, rocker as well. So yeah, and kept up to date as well because he was listening to music that was coming out in 1994, like Nirvana and Guns N' Roses and whatever else. So yeah. Well, actually, that's a nice segue then. So you liked Airheads because of this sort of music. So how old were we when we first saw and came about this film? Was it straight away? Was it a bit later? And yeah, so I'll start with you, Smith.
So I would have seen this at about the time it was on TV. I remember, as I think I do with many of these films, having it recorded on VHS. Because the reason that these films stick with me so much is that quite a lot of them I watched again and again and again and again because I had it on VHS. So maybe only for like a month or two, but I would be watching it again and again, recorded off tape. So what would be 95, maybe 96?
Yeah, maybe Sky? Late 95, early 96, I'd say. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And what about you, Alex? How did you come about this?
Yeah, I think it was a bit older. I was at 11 or 12 when I saw this because I remember seeing it. I think it was on Sky TV at some point, and I distinctly remember watching it with Luke Wyborn. If you remember Luke from my class, it was the only other guy who liked rock music in school, and so yeah, well, I think we watched it around his place. Yeah, when I was like 12, 13.
Oh, there you go. I think I watched the premiere of it on Sky because I distinctly remember the trailer saying like this Friday, Airheads, and the TV spot, the advert was the bit which we'll get to when there is sex in it. I was like, okay, and this was being shown at like what midday or something, like Friday night. I was like, right there, and that has stuck with me. So when I watched the film, when the sex bit came out, I went, oh yeah, yeah, that's that bit. Yeah, there you go.
I'd have been like, go on,
Go on, yeah.
go
But then
on.
I have forgotten large parts of this film, so yeah, this
Oh, see, I hadn't.
did it all come
Even
back
if
to you?
it all came back to me, if not immediately, just before stuff happened, I was like, oh wait, yeah, I remember where this is going. I remember what happens. And there are bits of it that stuck with me that when we get to them, I'll point them out. Just stuck with me completely, and that I've had in my head for years, years and years and years.
All right, well, no, without further ado, so we get into the plot. Plot. Awesome. Right, so 20th Century Fox. Now, again, my memory's terrible. Have we done 20th Century Fox yet? We must have done.
We must have done.
We must have done.
I can't fucking. I can't remember what films we've done. I'm not gonna remember
Yeah,
what
yeah.
production studio they were.
This is the 45th film we've covered. Actually, no, the 45th topic because we've done cartoons and TV shows. But yes. Now, these opening credits are awesome, right? We get shots
No,
of
great.
music equipment and props, and the credits roll a Motorhead Born to Raise Hell. I was like, yeah, I'm into this already. This is
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
This is really,
As
really good.
I was watching it as well with the people coming up, it's like that's got a hell of a cast on it. This film.
Absolutely. But then my wife pointed out there are an awful lot of Jewish people associated with this film. I was like, yes, there are. Yes, there
Okay.
are. Yeah, there was all sorts of people coming up. I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And then my wife's very good to picking out Jewish surnames. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
I couldn't name you any, but you know, there you go.
I think Adam Sandler's Jewish.
Well, yeah, Adam Sandler, obviously. Yeah,
Yeah, it's Adam Sandler.
yeah. So after the awesome credits, we get shots of Chaz on his motorbike in LA, and then we get a shot of KPPX radio, and we hear Ian the Shark talking about the Sons of Thunder song. Now, part of me is thinking like all of these bands are made up, right? Like there is, apart from when we see a particular band later on, like there's no genuine bands in this, is there?
No. Well, yeah, in a scene later on in the club, there's a genuine band.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I shuddered.
I did think as well with Joe Mantegna is like the standard classic rock and roll DJ, a deeply uncool middle-aged man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I'm so cool. It's like, no, you're not. You're someone's dad.
Yeah.
Stop
Absolutely. Yeah.
Probably several someone's dads.
Yeah. Yeah. Touche. Then we see that Chaz arrives at Palatine Records and he attempts to disguise himself as a delivery driver as he breaks in. And all of this is one continuous shot. This is very, very cool. Even the bit when he's in the elevator, the camera just pans up and then like follows him along. So I thought that was really, really, really good.
Someone showing off. Oh, it did bother me slightly this bit when the security guard chases him into the elevator and says, "Get security on the second floor," and he clearly goes to the first floor. Now,
Yeah.
it bothered me.
Which floor he was going to.
Well, I mean, I assume he's known him before, so we knew where he was going. It's just that I don't say there doesn't have to be truth in art, but you know, don't lie to me. Don't lie to my face.
Yeah, unless he was mistaken, the first floor is the second floor. I don't know.
Maybe it's the way these Americans number their floors: 1, 2, mezzanine, 12.
Yeah.
Anarchy.
No, I don't know if I missed something right, but as Chaz is coming out the elevator, there's people dressed as like the Cat in the Hat for some reason. I'm like, what's all this about? Or is this just what the executives have marketed them as?
Yeah, because it does say one point is like, oh, you need a gimmick. So I think that's just
right.
They're just like pointing out that these are the kind of stupid gimmicks they're talking about.
Right, there you go. That makes more sense.
You spent a fortune on them.
On the Cat in the Hat. Yeah, because they're not wearing anything else. They're just wearing these hats.
They're not practical. They're not practical hats.
Not practical at all. Didn't the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who are wearing a t-shirt, also used to wear weird shit like that sometimes? Also, they used to perform naked on stage sometimes as well.
With socks.
With socks over their junk. Yeah, they did. Right. So then Chaz corners an executive, Jimmy Wing, and tries to get him to take his demo take, and he says they don't take unsolicited material. And he just looks like a typical exec, shitty little beard, horrible 90s overgrown suit. Like,
I mean, the size of the fucking suit on him. He's swimming in it. He's like he's borrowed it off his dad.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. Chaz is thrown out by security, and then immediately he's at his girlfriend Kayla's apartment topless. Like, why is he topless? It's not even like he's built or got any. Because he's rock and roll.
Because he's rock and roll, yeah.
Oh,
if I wasn't with you, I'd be topless. Yeah.
Is that what you do?
I'm bottomless, so
something like Winnie the Pooh.
I'm Winnie the Pooh in it. I'm just running around without any trousers and pants on, get my hand stuck in a honey jar. It's Or as
true.
I like to call it, classic Thursday night.
Yeah. In fact, whenever you watch us on YouTube, you only ever see our top halves. You have got no idea what goes on beneath it.
Absolutely.
Right. And then Kayla comes home and starts giving him a bunch of shit for being a fucking loser, including him destroying her makeup, which he promptly throws at him. I was like, are we trying to get at that she's being really unreasonable? Because she's not. He is a fucking loser. And he
How
just
did her
tried to
makeup fall in the toilet?
I
How are
can't.
we supposed to believe that this series of events has occurred? Also, anybody who's got a wife, girlfriend, or anything like that, they know how expensive makeup is.
Yeah. I can only imagine it was balanced on the side of the cistern or whatever, and then he might have knocked it over. But how does she know he did it? She could have done it.
I think you'd remember.
Well, yeah. Duly noted. I won't knock my wife's makeup down the bog.
Don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
I would say as well, her performance is very broad. Like, she's the only person in this. So I'm like, oh, you're not very good.
No, I couldn't quite work out their relationship. Like, you love each other, you don't love each other. What's
It's
good?
not even that. It's just, I think it's meant to be your standard sort of volatile rock and roll relationship. It's just that kind of where she pitches it is just unpleasant.
Yeah.
Unpleasant to listen to.
it's just a crap Sid and Nancy story, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Still need to watch that film. I really want to watch that film. It's on for free on YouTube. I really need to watch it.
Cut price version, Sod and Nancy. Oh
Yeah.
no, wait, that's different. That's different.
That's completely different.
Do not type that into YouTube.
No, yeah, do not. Do not. So yeah, Kayla assaults him and throws him out of the apartment despite Chaz writing a song about it before he even met her. Fucking loser. And this bit really upset me. She starts throwing all of his CDs about and he always personal blows like, no, 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 no. I got terribly, terribly upset by that. And my OCD kicked was like, if someone did that, I'd just start picking them up and like, you know, just leave them there.
Also, again, very expensive. I mean, I dread to think the cost of like, between the makeup and all of this stuff that this afternoon has cost them thousands,
Thousands of that. Yeah, because she even throws like his record player over. It's like, or his CD player. I was like, oh, God.
You would be so upset at that point. The fact that he just drives off just upset me. I was like, "What are you doing? Pick up the CDs. You're a musician. You like music. She is throwing your music away."
Yeah. Like, what would you do if your wife started throwing your guitars over the balcony? Would you just tolerate that? No.
Hello, is that Saul? Yes, I'd
Yeah.
like a divorce, please.
You see, you could probably catch a guitar.
Yeah. Throw it back up and catch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Ah.
All right. So then we go to a toy store. This is where we meet Rex, played by Steve Buscemi, and they discuss Chaz being thrown out of his home. And then Rex just tells some geek to go fuck himself. I'm like, what was the point of this? Are we just supposed to believe that Rex is a
I'm
prick?
going to tell old man Covington. What was that?
It's just so random. I'm like, and this is the trouble I have with this, and we'll get into it later. Are we supposed to be rooting for these guys because they're kind of douches, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's a very 90s thing. It's a very sort of Gen X rebellion, but in the most clueless and unpleasant way possible at times.
Yeah. Then outside we meet Rex's brother Pip, played by Adam Sandler, and he works as a pool cleaner. And then we learn Chaz is going to move in with him. And I'm like, do you know what? Just going to pause this for a second. This is probably the most grounded Adam Sandler performance I've ever seen. So he's not fucking annoying in this.
I've
Whatever.
I've said he's really underplaying it despite kind of his later man-child shtick. Like he's really low key.
Yeah.
It's quite good. Like it's not. He's funny in a way that he later becomes not funny by being annoying.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, and it's so weird that he's like last on the credits, and he'd probably go on to be the most famous out of the three. And again, very, very low key performance.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, enjoyed it. Most of the lines that made me laugh were generally Adam Sandler.
Yeah, same actually. So back at Rex and Pip's apartment, Rex has brought home some toys, including some crash test dummy dolls. Like, do you remember those? Like,
I had one of those.
Did you have the little one you used to go in the car, or the big ass
Yeah,
one?
I had the big one. I had the big cuddly one. It was white.
Oh, so
Yeah,
cool.
I didn't have a purple one, but I had a big. Yeah, me and my brother both had them, and I had loads of little ones as well. I had loads of toys. We all had this.
I remember the little ones, you put them in the car and you ran the car against the wall and it was all supposed to like break like naturally. But the thing is, you ran against the wall so hard it just fucking broke. Oh.
You can't give stuff. You can't give stuff to kids where they're supposed to break it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, every time they said crash test dummies, all I was thinking was,
Yes.
I was like,
That was around about this time as well, wasn't
yeah.
it? The crash test dummies. Yeah. Yeah. That is a tuner.
Mm.
Right. And he's also brought some toy guns home that look so real they had to discontinue them. I've written down, I wonder if this is going to come back. And then at this stage, why was he putting the hot pepper sauce in it? Just to be annoying?
In case people broke in.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Burrito as well, wasn't he?
That's later on. That's later on. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I did actually like that when he was putting on the burrito. I went, oh, what a genius idea. So
No,
like,
because you're going to have a manky water gun full of hot sauce.
well, yeah, actually, that gun's fucked after you've done that.
Terrible idea.
Terrible, terrible idea. So then they're at the whiskey club, just rock club, and we see Sons of Thunder are playing, and DJ Ian the Shark is promoting them on stage, and then Rex is annoying.
DJ the Shark is drinking Pepto Bismol and beer mixed together. It's like, man, I've been there.
What was he drinking? Sorry.
It's like a Gaviscon. It's like a beer and a Gaviscon, and he was drinking them at the same time.
Oh God.
I was like, man, I've been there.
Just counterintuitive. Just, but why?
Whatever gets you through the night.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Rex is annoyed because he thinks the Sons of Thunder suck. And at this point, we meet Milo, played by Michael McKean. Like, every time people, in fact, right at the start with the credits, every time people get popping up, I just be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But yeah, we'll get to it as these people arrive in the film.
Are the Sons of Thunder, Alex, are they played by anyone, like a band, or are they just people?
No, they are just random.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, is that like, I don't know, Pearl Jam?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, that's Eddie Vedder actually.
Yeah.
One
I
of his
named
yeah.
a band.
No. These are nobodies. These are nobodies. The Sons of Thunder thank Ian for playing their music on the radio and for pretty much getting them signed. And then Chaz realizes at this point, this is what they need to do also. I'm like, the pacing of this movie, like immediately, like, okay, right, cool, this is what we need to do. Like, I would have liked a little bit more, oh, they're losers, they can't get signed. Maybe another scene we tried to get his demo listened to. Immediately, they just decide, okay, that's what we need to do. We just need to go to the radio and get them to play our demo.
Yeah, which is fine. I don't mind that is what they decide to do. They need to go to the radio and get their demo played. I'm not entirely sure if we miss a bit where they decide that the only way to get into the radio station is to break into the radio station instead of just going through the front door.
Well, no, that's my point. Like, maybe there could have been a scene where they tried to get an appointment and they don't get an appointment, or they even come in, they speak to Yvonne, and the receptionist goes, no, fuck off, or something like that. Like, you're right, Smith.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, no, we're just going to break in. But why?
You could just have asked. They might have played it.
Yeah, Ian the Shark. Well, because how did the Sons of Thunder get their demo played? They must have done something similar.
Ian the Shark seems like the kind of dude that if a random band to turn up and went, would you play our demo? He'd probably go, yeah, all right.
I thought, like, to Stu's point earlier, if you want to root for the band, they should have been playing on the same bill. They should have been way better than the Sons of Thunder, and they should have then signed the Sons of Thunder, and then they would have been legitimately pissed off. Why did this other band get signed? And you would have had a reason to actually root for the Lone Rangers in the rest of the film, and that was like a big opportunity.
Yeah, it is.
No, that's fairly good. That's fairly good. That's fairly good writing. What that would do, however, is add another 5 minutes to this. And I don't know about you, but I've got a real problem in films where you have fake musical performances. So like, if it's a real band playing a real song, that's fine. But when you get like at the end of this film or here with the Sons of Thunder, if they actually had to play a whole song that was just written for the film, it's gonna be a piece of shit. Like it's the 2016 Ghostbusters film is one that sticks most in my mind, where they fight ghosts at a music concert, and it's the weirdest, most anodyne like performance you've ever seen of a song that isn't a song, and a band who clearly aren't a band, and a crowd who clearly aren't listening to any music, and they're just putting it in post. I can't stand it. It's one of the weird bugbears that I have.
But like if you go to like that 90s period, right? So this came after both the Bill and Ted films, right?
Yeah.
So what they did well was they took like a legit classic song and they presented it as if it was Bill and Ted with like God Gave Rock and Roll to You.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, that was a legit good song that most people didn't know at that time, and you repurposed it for the film and would have made things much better.
Yeah, even in Wayne's World, they did the same thing with Cassandra's band, where they did Ballroom Blitz.
There you go. Yeah. No, I think that's a very good point, Alex. It is a missed opportunity. It's just a real throwaway line. Oh, we played against them once and we were better. I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah. But yeah, you're right.
You don't ever really get a sense at any point in the film if they are good. You don't really hear them.
That would have been a good twist when we get to it at the end, when you actually hear their demo and they're shit or something like
Yeah,
that.
well,
But like,
yeah.
yeah. We're just meant to assume, no, these guys are great. They've been so fucked over. They just need a chance, god damn it, like that. But I'm like, but we don't have a reason to root for them. So yeah. Anyway, we'll get there.
If I was directing, it would have been a smash cut of them like getting in and out of vans, playing loads of shows with lots of
Yeah.
different. Get rid of all of the stuff of trying to break into the record station and like get to speak to a record exec. Just show what happens on a day-to-day basis.
There you go.
Like,
And that's the thing. We don't even get a sense of how many gigs these guys play. Are they just people who fuck around in someone's garage, or are they actually a legit band who play gigs all the time?
yeah.
Well, he has a speech a bit later on where he says, he's out there playing all the gigs, in front of just the other bands and their girlfriends and all this, that, and the other, which I'm sure is a realistic part of gigging. I've never played a musical instrument in my life, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, you don't get a real sense of it. Like, how many fans do they actually have already?
Exactly.
Because they seem to have quite a lot by the end in what I would call fairly unrealistic circumstances.
Yeah.
Although I don't think you're coming to a film called Airheads and looking for verite.
No, certainly not. Right, so they're on their way to the radio station, but Pip doesn't think they'll get in. And he reminds them about some kid who got zapped for having a toy gun and he went bald on his balls. That really made me fucking laugh. Wait, what? How did he know that? Oh, right. Anyway.
He hit him at 60 million quid. He's like, yeah, but he's got no hair on his balls.
Yeah. I mean, look. Hair on your balls?
Look, coming from a man without a patient, look, let me tell you.
Is it a problem?
No. It's a naked mole rat down there, but it is.
Anyway, let's move on. Right, so they arrived at Nakatomi Plaza. Sorry, KPBX Radio.
Boom.
And do you know what? I was even thinking this looks like Nakatomi Plaza, and I've done the trivia reading later on. I was like, oh, okay, makes sense. We see the receptionist Yvonne is playing a Game Gear, not a Game Boy, a Game Gear, the Sega version, which I had. They were massive, and they did not sell well. And they're not paying attention. She's not paying attention to monitors. So the guys are trying to break in using Pimp's bank card. I'm like, how would this ever work? Have you ever heard of this before?
So is this the kind of hard thing with this where they are supposed to be idiots. Yeah. So I think they assume that any sort of card will work where a key card would normally be used to get into a building. But they are only ever as stupid as the plot requires them to be in the moment. Right. Their levels of stupidity go up and down depending on what scene they're in and how stupid they need to be to get away with what they're doing.
Yeah.
And this is one of those examples of they need to be fucking idiots here. Later on, Steve Buscemi will be quite smart.
Yeah. I could buy this if this happened in a Dumb and Dumber movie. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, because they're fucking stupid. But at various points, they show that they are quite intelligent. So, stupid, really stupid. So yeah,
I sort of thought it was like a T2 reference, with the kids trying to put the pin code to hack the ATMs and stuff like that.
But then we could have just done but they could have just done a line like I saw this in T2, and then that would have made it funny. The fact that they're just going to do, yeah. It's probably denied that eats the card, which again upset me because if my card got eaten, I'd be so angry.
Well, my card got eaten once, and I punched a tree and broke my finger. True story. Moving on.
Then Rex decides to spit soda into the machine, thinking it's going to short circuit it. I was like, but even if it does, it's not going to open the door, is it? It's just going to blow up.
If anything, it'll lock it more.
Yeah.
We really don't want to get in here, guys.
Yeah. You won't be able to get in and out from either side.
Yeah. And then Rex and Pip start arguing, and then Rex ends up slapping Pip. And I'm like, again, are we just supposed to believe that Rex is the real arsehole out of all three of them, or are they just petty brothers squabbling or something? I don't know. It was never quite clear to me the well-defined roles each three of them have.
Yeah, a bit of both, I think. I think it is supposed to be Brendan Fraser's leader, Adam Sandler's the kind of dumb, nice one, and Steve Buscemi is the arsehole in the middle. Yeah, also, any chance to slap your brother, I'll take it.
Fair. Chaz and Pip climb up on the roof. No, it's Chaz and Rex climb up the roof, sorry. And then some chick Susie opens the door and knocks down Pip. And then after bringing him ice and flirting, she leaves the door open. And then Chaz drops a bag down, which very conveniently hangs on the door, and that lets them get in. And I'm like, come on. And also, she wouldn't leave the door open. Oh, no, she has just knocked the guy down, I guess. So she feels bad about it.
She didn't leave it open. She would let it explode behind her.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
which good physical security you should never do.
No, no, certainly not.
That's just a tip for everyone out there.
Yeah, just because the door's open doesn't mean you should go inside it.
No, no, it's make sure your doors are closed. That's the tip.
Oh, well, yeah, there's also that.
Yeah,
Uh,
but otherwise valid too.
yeah,
Just because the door's open, you shouldn't just go in there. You don't
yeah.
know what's on the other side of that door.
No, exactly. You could get killed or shot or both.
Or
Right.
molested.
Moving on. Right.
It's a 90s radio station after all.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
All sorts was going on in there.
That whole place is caked in jizz.
Yeah. It's always about jizz with you, Smith, isn't it? Right. Anyway, so they hear Ian the Shot talking on the radio, who's promoting hair products for some reason, and then Milo is talking with Doug, the accountant. And you know, it took me half the movie to realize that's Michael Richards, because when Michael Richards come
Yeah.
up on the credits, I'm like, who the fuck was he in that film? Oh, he was Doug, the accountant. Right,
You
got it.
didn't realise it was Michael Richards, despite the fact that he has the face of Michael Richards.
Well, no, because his hair looks different from when he's Kramer in Seinfeld, and he had a moustache, so he just looked different to me. And he was wearing glasses, so he just looked different.
Just basically, that was if it had just come in a door and just gone, oh yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Or been really racist, you know, then maybe I would have.
they're like, oh yeah, Michael Richards.
Yeah. But no. We see that Milo's manipulated him to work on a weekend, and they discuss the bad news that needs to be delivered at the right time. And I've written down, I wonder if this will come back. The guys going to Ian the Shark studio and tell him that they're a band and they want to be set up like the Sons of Thunder with their demo. And then just immediately Ian puts them on the radio so they can hear about this unsigned band who got broke into the studio. I'm like, now, is he doing this to be rock and roll, or is he doing it so hopefully the police are here or security and come take them away? I wasn't quite sure why he gave them this time.
Yeah, because he swings the microphone at them,
Yeah.
but doesn't tell them they're on the air, and they don't seem to realise they're on the air for a little bit. Also, again, it backs up my previous point that they probably could have just gone in and asked him to play the tape, and it would have been fine.
Then there wouldn't be a movie then, would there?
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
That'd be a shit movie. Can you play this for us? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, 70 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never really comes across that he's that jaded, though, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he's meant to be just like, oh God, all of these bands are idiots and like rock and roll's dead and stuff like that. And it doesn't really come across.
No.
No, you're right. He just yeah, it just comes across like somebody playing a person that's supposed to be jaded, but doesn't really have the feeling behind the eyes.
Yeah, and we'll get to it later, but even Michael McKean's character as Milo, he's not as good as Michael McKean normally is and stuff. Michael McKean's normally fucking great and stuff. In this, it just looks like it's like, okay, whatever. You know?
I think a lot of it is they don't have a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Like Michael McKean has got a few kind of moments, but he's not got any really great material.
Yeah.
He's kind of just doing his, because Michael McKean kind of flips between the really hilarious improv stuff and some really good dramatic roles, and then stuff like this where he's clearly just done it for the money.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
They saw Spinal Tap and we're like, yeah, we'll get that guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is that connection to it. I think there's a Spinal Tap poster in there at some point as well.
Yeah, I didn't spot it, but I did read that. Yeah. They can't explain what their style is exactly, but then Chaz starts talking about what a loser he is, and conveniently, Kayla happens to walk past someone playing this on the radio station. So there's a lot of this. Milo comes in wanting to know what the fuck is going on because you've just let strangers into the studio. And Ian's like, let them talk, whatever. I'm just like, why doesn't Ian give a shit? Like, because at this point he doesn't know what's going to happen later. So I just wonder why he's just so rogue, just like, I'll do whatever I want. Oh no, because he says to Milo, without me, you got no rating. So he's just got a massive ego. So I'll just do whatever I want. Yeah,
I think it's the kind of period or the era of the celebrity like DJs, kind of got your Howard Sterns and people like that get all the ratings by being slightly anarchic, and they think they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Chaz makes a plea to Milo to play their demo, and then him and Ian squabble, and then Milo calls Rex Hollywood Boulevard trash, and he decides at this point, no, he's had enough of that, and pulls out a gun. And then I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, guys are just fucking idiots. Why have you done this? And also, why did they bring the guns with them? That's what I never understood, because they were for the home invade if everyone broke into their flat. So why have they brought the guns with them?
So I suspect what we're missing here is a scene where they decide that their plan is they're going to go and break into the radio station, and then if they get any shit, they're going to pull guns on them to make them do what they want to do without having potentially thought through the consequences of that.
Right.
Consequences, which I will add, without spoilers, well, with heavy spoilers, but they never face.
No, exactly. Yeah. During all this, Doug the accountant hears the commotion from another room, but then Chaz then pulls out the other gun and he wants to play their demo, and then he starts going about how rock and roll he is, and like you said about how he's in the bands, sorry, he's in the clubs playing and all that sort of shit, and then starts bad mouthing executive Jimmy Wing, who again conveniently happens to be walking by a radio, and this is pointed out to him.
This was the 90s, Stu. There was a radio every meter by law,
and people are only listening to KPPX radio.
I love the fact that, well, just literally before Judd Nelson turns up, there's a bit where Brendan Fraser calls out the ponytail on Michael McKean. It's like, man, 90s fashion sucked ass. And then, oh, here's Judd Nelson with his massive suit.
Yeah. There was a funny bit with that pony because I bet it's not even real. And he points and goes, ha, ha, ha. So, oh, no, it was real. Oh, dear.
Everybody needs a haircut. That's my takeaway from this film.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a haircut.
No, Adam Sandler's fine.
That's true. Adam Sandler is fine. I like what he's doing. Everybody else, though,
needs a haircut. Ian tells Milo to play the demo, but he hasn't brought a cassette as the background vocals sound like someone stepping on his nuts. What? So it's just got like some real deck. So they have to go find a real deck player. That's when they come across Marcus. And I'm like, who the fuck is Marcus? It's like, is he just some dude who works there? Or is he a musician? Or who is he?
I assume he's a technician.
He's your that generally lives in a cupboard somewhere. And also, on a musical note, cassettes don't change the pitch of your background vocals. Like, you're just talking nonsense for plot reasons.
But this is why we brought you on, Alex, so you can correct all the inaccuracies.
I would never. I'd be like, yeah, sounds legit.
Yeah, who are you, Judge?
Tapes. Low quality shit. They probably did. Right. So Marcus is played by Reginald E. Cathy, who we've previously seen on this podcast in The Mask. Where he played the henchman Frost.
Yeah, who decides as he's dying to have a cigarette and then die immediately.
And I believe is the only member of this cast that's dead.
Oh.
There you go. I was looking them all up afterwards. I was like, I thought more of these people would be dead by now.
The fat
Chris Farley.
Oh, Chris Farley, of course. How the hell did I miss that? Yes, yeah. Chris Farley is very dead.
Very, very, very dead.
And so is Michael Richards' career.
Oh. And speaking of Michael Richards, we get Doug crawling on the floor and hides on a store cupboard, and he gets flammable liquid all over him. I've written down, wonder if this will come back later. Also, not funny.
I thought his physical comedy was very funny. The way he was crawling around on the floor and sort of maneuvering himself was very, very good.
No, all of this stuff on Michael Richards, the entire time, I hated it. It's like, this is not funny. It's just annoying.
Really? I thought it was quite good.
What do you think, Alex?
Mate, it was like trying to be a cut rate John McClane and just failing spectacularly.
Yeah.
Like, down to the scenes in like the air vents when he's like got the lighter out. I was waiting for him to say, "I feel like a TV dinner." And
yeah, exactly.
If they'd have made it more on the nose with the Die Hard references, maybe that would have worked a bit better.
Yeah, that's just it.
I guess I'm the only one here who appreciates good physical comedy. Well, fine.
Fine. I like good physical comedy. It's probably because I don't find Michael Richards funny. Well, I did find him funny as Kramer. So, yeah, I don't know. There you go. Pip tries talking to into Marcus. He just basically tells him to fuck off. But then Marcus says something spectacularly racist to him. It's like, oh dear, the 90s. Rex is made to put a cigarette out as it damaged the sound equipment in the studio. Is that true, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay. So this film did get that right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this bit's funny. Yeah, so Ian goes to give them an intro and he berates them for their name, the Lone Rangers, because I don't understand why you pluralise this. It is a very good point. Why have you pluralised this? But then don't bands make weird names anyway, just to be funny?
Yeah.
No, mainly just because there's no stuff available anymore. Any like one single word band, you look it up, it's like, yep, there's 3 of them.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh, how about the Beatles? Let me check. Oh no. You'll
Would
never
you believe
guess.
it? The Lizard? Yep.
Then the demo begins to play, but the demo gets all chewed up, then it sets on fire, and then they decide to now run. I'm like, why now have you decided to run? Like, you're in this for the long haul. Why run now? Or they just think, oh, what's the point? We've got nothing to show for it.
Well, yeah.
They haven't got another tape to play now, have they? So
well, yeah. Why else should we stay here? Yeah.
Why should we stay here? Yeah.
Yeah. They get outside, they see that the cops have shown up. So Pip goes outside to see if the cops are for real. And they start doing this whole like mind thing. And that's when he's like, oh no, fuck this, and runs back in when he sees that he's got a gun.
Again, there's a line here where one of them is like, oh, "How did they know we were here?" I was like, "Is that supposed to be them being stupid because they were on the radio? That's how they knew where you were."
Yeah, but also Michael Richards called the cops.
Oh,
So
we did. Ah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right.
the
Well,
bit when he
then
was
there's two
crawling around.
reasons.
Yeah,
There's two reasons why they know where they are. One is that someone called the cops. The other is they were being broadcast live on the radio.
yeah, yeah. Even a cop might have just been listening. Like, right, I guess we're going down to that
As
station.
I said, there is a radio every meter in the 90s.
But
So yes,
well,
there's a
yeah,
chance that a cop will have been listening to the radio.
cop cars have radios in them as well.
But,
Do
but
they?
also, I would say that was the only bit of physical comedy that actually had me chuckling a little bit.
Yeah,
They
that
were
was
just
funny.
in each other's moves and then moving backwards and forwards.
Yeah,
Way better than the Michael Richards bits.
yeah. And then he starts doing this like monkey walk or something, which is
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, yeah. But he goes back inside because he says he's fragile and doesn't want to go to jail. And then we see there are cops absolutely everywhere that they had escaping. And then they all argue about what they're going to do. And at this point, Yvonne starts talking to them. So Chaz says, right, we need to round everyone up and essentially take them as hostages. Like, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that at all.
You can just put your guns down, say these are water pistols. At this point, it's misdemeanor. Probably.
Yeah.
It's not. It's yeah,
You could
maybe.
say it was a
I don't know.
prank. Just say it was a prank. And it was a very silly prank. And we shouldn't have done this.
Slap on the wrist, bit of a fine.
Yeah. But no, they're in
Depends
a.
if people want to press charges. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll have to go and look up my law books.
Yeah, you do that. You can see what mischief we can get away with, and we can do it. Right. We then meet Carter, who's played by an exceptionally young David Arquette. And what is the point of him in this film? What is
There's
the
no
point
point.
of? I'm not even sure the character Carter's supposed to do. Is he just someone else who works there? Or
Yeah,
is he
he's
like a
someone who
runner,
works
an apprentice, or something? Like, what?
just like an office gopher, I would imagine. But the thing is, he's not really the comic relief. He didn't really do anything.
No.
And Adam Sandler's the comic relief, sort of.
Yeah.
What is a broad comedy? Yeah. It's just so. This was one of the bits of trivia which I'll just drop in now. But there was apparently Paulie Shaw was trying to. There was a bit of. I've read a couple of things that seemed very similar in tone about casting in this film and to do with Brendan Fraser. And this was apparently Paulie Shaw was vying for the role that David Arquette eventually got. After apparently trying to stop Brendan Fraser from being in this film because they wanted to make a sequel to Encino Man,
Or
which is called
California
California
Man.
Man here,
Yeah.
because apparently everyone outside of the US doesn't understand what Encino means.
Mm. Yeah. There you go.
I just think they keep adding these side characters like throughout the film. So you've got your Michael Richards, you've got your Chris Farley's, you've got like your General Gopher guy. There's so many of these like side characters that don't really have anything to do.
Yeah, you're just adding more people again and again and again. And I think some of it is mocking sort of the tropes of this kind of film. So you'd have the hostages and there'd be a certain type of hostage. You'd have the SWAT guy turn up at some points. They do that. Yeah. You'd have the cops. You'd have the rookie cop. I think they're playing on those different tropes.
But they don't go full out with it though. If they really were a wink and a nod and taking the piss out of themselves, it might come across better. This film just seems so unsure of itself, what it wants to do.
Yeah, it's a very gentle comedy. It's a very sort of straightforward 90s studio comedy film where you're going to get a few chuckles, you're going to get a few bits of decent physical comedy, you're going to get some big celebrities in it for the time, and a few good cameos, and then it'll just play through to the end in almost exactly the way that you think it's going to, where its influence is very clearly on its sleeve as well. There are bits in here where it's like, that's Dog Day Afternoon, that's the Blues Brothers, that's, you can see where they've taken bits from.
Yeah, definitely. Then we cut to Jimmy Wing talking to his assistant about how this situation is a big media bomb and this is a great opportunity. And the guys are rounding everyone up, but Doug has escaped to the air ducts. And again, I've written down none of this is remotely funny. And then at this point, he manages to set himself on fire.
You're a hard man to please.
Sake. No, I do like good comedy, but this isn't. I'm sorry. Alex is with me on this as well.
Yeah.
In the boardroom, everyone's allowed to sit on a chair apart from Milo for some reason. Makes him sit on the floor. Well, that was good. Ian confirms that they are still on the air, and then Top Sergeant O'Malley arrives. It's Ernie Hudson. I'm like, oh, fucking hell. It's such a delight to see him in anything other than Ghostbusters. Like, Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, here's your first Ghostbuster. He's with Chris Farley. Chris Farley is fucking hilarious. Like just the way everything, just for some reason, the way he said anything had me chuckling.
Really?
Like, yeah, just the way he talks to me is just so funny.
No, the thing is, I don't find Chris Farley funny in anything, right? And
Actually, I haven't seen anything with him in apart from this, so
you
I've
said
never
Wayne's World
seen.
2?
Oh yeah, no, he's quite funny in that as well. That's true. I've never seen any of the ones he starred in, so I've never seen Black Sheep or Tommy Boy or Beverly Hills Ninja. I've never seen anything
Hmm.
like that. So all I've seen of Chris Farley is this film, Wayne's World 2, and Saturday Night Live sketches.
No,
And I legitimately think he's very funny in all of them.
really? And also, I feel like he didn't get much to do, and he was such a
No,
big
he
star
doesn't
at
have
this
a lot to
time.
do.
He
Well,
seems
he's second on the
miscast in
credits,
this.
right?
No, he's
Like
not second on
second,
the
no,
credits.
fourth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
It's
just
after
seems
the
like
main
a
three, then it's
waste.
him.
Just
Yeah,
seems
no,
like
he
a
doesn't have a lot
waste.
to do. It kind of feels like the people who made it knew him. Like Adam Sandler and him were both on SNL probably at the same time.
Maybe.
So they probably knew it and just said, "Oh, you come be in the film." He's like, "Yeah, sure."
They're like, this guy's funny. Maybe they'll help the film.
Hmm.
And yeah, no, I got to agree. I just think he's another throwaway character that they didn't necessarily need or want. And it would have been, it's again one of those things where if you're going to have him in it, give him a bigger part, give him
Exactly.
something, and give him some like set pieces that are actually funny.
Yeah, because that character, Wilson, who he plays, he could have been played by anyone. So why
Yeah,
waste
yeah,
Chris Farley in that role? I don't know. Just thought that was odd.
no small roles. But yeah, I think you probably could have done more with them because some of the casting in this, well, they've got a great cast. It's a little bit off. Like I think Adam Sandler's fine in his role. Steve Buscemi is fine in his role.
Hmm?
Brendan Fraser plays goofy and lovable really, really well, but he's slightly miscast
I think so.
because
Yeah.
he doesn't convince as a rocker at
No.
all.
No.
Like he doesn't have that about him. So the bit later on when he's like, "I was a nerd," it's like, "Well, yeah, obviously."
Yeah.
Also, you listen to metal music, because you're a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
No offense, Alex.
Right. I've had enough of that for 25, 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You bring up his trauma. Awesome.
I was the cause of much of that drama.
Sure. Right, anyway, moving on. So Carter wants something to eat, but Chaz is panicked about everything that's going on. And at this point, O'Malley's called the radio station and wants to talk with Chaz, but Chaz doesn't want to talk on the phone. So then Ian says, look, you should go outside and talk about the ransom demands and to release the hostages. And then Pip says, oh, I don't want anything. I just don't want to go outside. Which was pretty good. And then Ian goes to talk to Chaz in private, and then Susie starts flirting with Pip. And then I never saw the attraction. Like, she's so into him just from the start. Like, is it the whole knocking him down, feeling sorry for him shit? I don't know. Never got any of this.
I mean, I'd be slightly perturbed if you're like, I can really see the attraction. I'd have had sex with Adam Sandler in this film.
Well, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
No, it's not Adam Sandler per se. Why is she so into him just like immediately? I don't know. Just didn't get it.
They didn't even really do it like a Stockholm syndrome thing.
No,
Yeah,
it happened too quick.
Which they could have done. Like,
yeah,
and that would have made a little bit more sense.
yeah, yeah. Ian's trying to reason with Chaz that this is all crazy, but then Chaz misunderstands what he's talking about. He says, "Oh yeah, I need to get the other copy of the demo so it can be played." I was like, "Oh, how convenient! There's another copy of the demo, which is on a tape." Right then, what happens? And then yeah, we cut to Kayla smoking in the car. And would you believe it? She's listening to that demo tape, which she conveniently and promptly throws out the car. Now, at this point, I thought, oh, well, they're doomed. Like we see later on, no, not necessarily. But at this point, it's like, now where do they go? Like they haven't got another demo.
It kind of adds a non-existent bit of jeopardy. This because you'll see it. She throws out the car, then it gets kicked by someone, then
Yeah,
it gets, stood on it. It's like, but will it work in the end? Well, we'll find out. But the jeopardy is non-existent, especially later when she conveniently just picks it up from where she dropped it.
well, yeah, just yeah. I mean,
I don't know if you've ever thrown a cassette out of a car, but it's not really hard to go and find. It's not really that easy to go and find it again.
Well, no, especially if it's been kicked around and moved by other people and shit.
Yeah, well, exactly.
And if you're going to go like true slapstick, you would have been like, somebody's got the tape. Chris Farley's going to try and go after him. He'll fall over.
Yeah.
Somebody else will get the tape. He'll chase them. Like there'll be a little bit of like, this is the MacGuffin that you're going after. Whereas none of that happens.
No, it's relatively easy how Chris Farley finds Kayla later on, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But yeah. Then what? Yeah, the Chaz is unable to reach Kayla at home, and then people start showing up at the radio station. O'Malley's telling Wilson to restrain them. Then Chaz goes outside, and all the cops draw guns on him, and then O'Malley talks to him about his demands, which is just simply, find the tape from Kayla at the whiskey bar, and he gives a really hot photo to her. I was like, right, okay. thought, oh, she's a looker. This bit was fucking funny. Back inside, Pip asks Yvonne why black people don't like him. And he starts trying to relate to her, saying, I bet when you go into a shop, people think you're going to rob it. He goes, that's literally never happened to me. So fucking, has that happened to you? That was genuinely made me laugh. That was very, very funny. Terrible observation, though. Terrible, terrible.
So it's one of those weird things. Like I think it feels weirdly out of place. Like it's slightly, like it's. He's obviously. Is it Marcus who's been a bit funny with him?
That's because he's got a gun. That's why
Yeah,
it's a bit
because
funny.
he's got a gun. He's got a gun, but he tried to relate to him as well, and he's just kind of gone, "Don't you dare!"
Yeah.
Hendrix was guard, and he's like, "Don't you talk to me?"
Then what happens to him? Oh yeah, and then O'Malley tells Chaz that he needs to send a hostage out to sign a good faith, and then Pip goes, "Oh God, we went, no, not you, hostages." Another good joke. So Chaz sends out Yvonne, which Milo protests to because he's just like, "Oh, this is sexist, sending a woman out, whatever." And then the crowd's giving Wilson shit outside for being fat. And I was like, and there's no payoff to that. Like when they were giving Wilson like Chris Farley shit, I thought he was gonna like just fucking hit one of them, but it's just yeah. There's a little bit of a payoff later on the club when someone's giving him shit, but like maybe that's what it is. They're just building up to. He's just had enough of it or whatever. I don't know. And then yeah, at this point, O'Malley gives Wilson the instruction to go find Kayla. Cue more more unfunny shit with Doug in air vents. Why are you finding this so funny? It's not funny.
I don't know. What can I tell you?
No, what can you tell me? I don't know.
It's just physical comedy. I like physical comedy.
When it's done well.
Oh yeah, when it's done well.
Anyway, so Yvonne goes outside and then Rex starts showboating the crowd. And then Rex tries to get Pip to be more mean with the hostages so they can be taken seriously. Now, is this the bit you were talking about when he starts getting annoying later? Because at first, Pip's been like, oh, okay, if you could do what I say. And then, like, Rex is like really pushing him to like, no, be mean, be mean, be mean. And then he sort of turns into regular Adam Sandler that we all know. Is that what you were talking about?
Found my like what when I said his later shtick? No, I meant more in his career.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, if you took a look at this film compared to Billy Madison a year later, which is a lot of the same cast, actually it reminds us of another film I've seen, Chris Farley, and I'm talking absolute shit. It's he's already going near that man child like it's there's a limit to how much of that I can tolerate. This I found the second he started doing the meaner stuff is like it's less funny. It's better when you're just being sweet. It's much more a likable note.
Yeah. But the point he's being all mean, then Doug overhears all of this, like, oh my God, these guys really are going to kill us all. They're not going to kill them. They just want to play their demo. And then the SWAT van arrives, led by Carl Mace, and starts squabbling with O'Malley. And I'm like, this is very Die Hard, isn't it? This is very Die. This is like when Johnson & Johnson arrive, or even when that other geezer arrives before Johnson & Johnson arrive.
Oh yeah. This is the guy who's played by Marshall Bell from Starship Troopers, and I think he's the bad guy in Twins.
He is the bad guy in Twins, and he's been in various other bits and pieces. I was looking at this guy, I was like, where have I seen you? Where have I seen you? So I had to IMDb it.
I was looking at the man behind him, going, "Where have I seen you?" Like, oh yeah, in the mirror.
Yeah. Doug's calling the police again, and he wants to talk to someone outside. And we see at this point the media have arrived, and then Mace talks to Doug on the phone, and he says, "Are they molesting you?" That really, really made me laugh. Why did you ask him?
I think the SWAT stuff's very funny, especially when he just starts talking about his wife.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. No, we'll get there. It's really, really funny. Oh dear. But yeah, Mace wants Beach to stay in contact with him throughout, and only him only. Cut back to the studio. Rex is stealing shit from the studio and demanded that Ian plays good tracks too, which the crowd loves outside. Now the crowd outside is having a hell of a party, which seems really odd. Like there is a hostage situation going on in there. People could be dead, and they're just outside being like, "Yeah, rock and roll," and throwing beach balls about.
This is the sort of creative license you need to give the cinema because, frankly, this would be. They would be several hundred yards back at any one of these. There's no way a crowd this large would be allowed this close to a scene where you believe there are actual guns.
Yeah, absolutely. They'd probably be escorted away as well. At this point, we see the demo tape is being scattered around everywhere on the roads. Like, oh, okay.
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy. And then we see Carter's furiously playing that game gear. It's like, what? Why? What? I don't understand.
It looks kind of like he's wanking until you zoom
But
out.
yeah. Oh, is that what it was
I think
supposed to
that's the
be?
joke. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. He's playing the Von's game gear. Okay, fine. At this point, Chaz announces they have free tickets to gigs. They start taking calls to give them away. And at this point, I don't know about you guys, I didn't find this funny. Beavis and Butthead call in and start going, "Yeah, you guys suck." I'm like, "Oh." I d
Yeah. It's very
I
odd.
think it depends on your tolerance for Beavis and Butthead, but also it is a very odd thing to have just pop in the middle. It kind of takes you out of the film in any meaningful way because it's clearly just Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, because at first I thought that really sounded like Beavis and Butthead, and at the end I checked the credits. Like, oh yeah, no, that was Beavis and Butthead. I'm like, is this just
Yeah.
some because they got MTV to promote this movie, didn't they? So is this like some sort of shameless crossover or something?
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly what it is. But it's also trying to tap into that sort of grungy rock counterculture of the '90s, but not really knowing how to do it. So,
Yeah.
oh, we'll put a band in, we'll put Beavis and Butthead in, and everyone can talk about music. But in also there's a scene I know it's roundabout here where um, Brendan Fraser is talking with Joe Mantegna about the
Mm.
Beatles versus, and they're kind of, but they never come to any sort of conclusion on it.
No.
It's
They just
subjective.
he's basically saying, oh, '90s music. And he's like, you could tell me that the Beatles is like, that the Beatles are, they're any patch on this, and da 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 da. And then they kind of just both go, all right, like they're not gonna
Yeah,
because also
it's not
how
reverential for rock music in general, though, is it? It's not like there's not like the tent pole song, and there's not like the conversation that goes, "This is why we listen to rock music. This is what it does for people." There's
yeah,
not like there's none of that through the whole film.
No.
it has a very surface level understanding of rock music and rock music culture and what people like. And it's not even like you could. I don't even think the argument between the Beatles versus the kind of metal scene of the early '90s is even a particularly valid argument.
No.
Hey, if you're going to argue that the metal of the early '90s is better than the Beatles, you are wrong. Um, Simply, you are wrong. But also, it's more like it's not the same as saying who's better, the Beatles or the Stones. They're not comparable.
No.
Yeah.
They're an evolution. It's kind of the evolutionary style of music. You wouldn't have the metal of the '90s without the Beatles. That just would. You don't get that through line.
No. It's completely
Not.
subjective anyway. It's like, well, who are you to say this is better than that? So it's
But but generally, like if you're in a band, you really revere all the stuff that's come before you, and you
Mhm.
want to do what you're doing because you like the old music.
exactly.
Yeah.
You grew up listening to the Beatles, so you wouldn't shit on the Beatles. You'd be like, yeah, the Beatles influenced me, made me want to pick up a guitar. That's what rock music's all about. It's kind of like you're trying to be
Yeah.
current, but actually in a way that just doesn't work.
It's a weird little scene and a weird little argument that seems shoehorned in for
Mm.
no reason than just to have it there. And
Yeah.
there's no resolution. At no point does someone say, "You're right. This music is better than the Beatles," or "You're right. The Beatles are better," or "We're both right." They just sort of stop talking and then it's moves on.
Oh, that's a pad the script out some way, didn't it?
It
Right.
does get quite repetitive towards the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, it does. Susie reveals they're on TV, which they switch on. At this point, Doug spies a mobile phone and then falls out of the air vents. And I written down, oh, the hilarity. So,
That was the one bit that actually did make me laugh of Michael Richards stuff when he fell out of the event.
whoever that stuntman was, it might have been Mike Richards. That looked
It
like
probably
fucking
was
hurt as
Michael
well.
Richards.
God, that looked like really hurt. But he calls Mace, and this is the fucking funny bit because he starts talking to him, and he's like, "Are you married?" He said, "No, no, I'm not. I live in a condo or whatever. The right woman never come along." And he was like, "Let me tell you something about the shrew I married. I used to come home tired every night, sometimes 5 or 6 in the morning. I dropped my underwear on the floor one time, had a teeny weeny little skid mark in it. You would have thought I started World War IX." I was dying of laughter at that bit. That was so funny. Especially when he comes back and he's still going on about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the great bit. Like he's just been going on for about 20 minutes.
Oh dear. And then Susie's flirting with Pip some more, and it's really baffling Ian. And then Rex says, "Oh yeah, they like him because of his, innocence or whatever else." And then Rex wants to know why they don't play decent music on the radios. Oh yeah, no, we've talked about that bit. Yeah, they discussed the whole old music versus new music. And at this point, Rex reveals Milo has a crate of easy listing CDs in office, which raises further questions with Ian. Hmm.
Hmm.
We see the tape is getting damaged some more by jumping hydraulics cars on the road, and then Rex shows Ian the Milo CD stash. Mm, Jeopardy. Right. So at the whiskey club, Chris Farley Wilson has very easily found Kayla. She's just walked
Yeah,
in there and she's up the bar having a drink. I'm like, Right, okay. So
Yeah.
there's no like, or maybe he just sees her but doesn't. She goes off somewhere, then he mistakes someone and tries to arrest. You know what I mean? There's none of that. He just finds her immediately. Like, okay. Oh
And this
yeah,
film was a tight 92 minutes. We
yeah,
had time for any of that.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it's
and
good.
it's White Zombie you're playing, isn't it? At this point, Alex.
It is White Zombie, yeah. And this is the other thing that bothered me. I was like, why are you not playing like their single off of like, because this was like everyone knew Thunder Kiss in the States, like 65.
Mm.
And like the following year, it was going to be like More Human Than Human was just about to be released. And they play some like nondescript album track on this movie. I was like, what are you doing?
Is there not a copyright issue? Because we discussed this when we talked about Mars Attacks, didn't we, Smith? Like they just keep constantly going. Tom Jones is only allowed to do like it's not unusual, nothing. So is there something like that that they weren't contracted to promote any music or anything like that?
It's like you're the band in the film. You're going to go, we're going to pick our best song.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to play our best song in the film. So people might go, oh, actually, they're all right. Not just like, oh, yeah, this is a crap White Zombie song.
I mean, I'm not a fan of White Zombie, so yeah.
And what would Judas Priest have been doing around about this time, Alex?
Judas Priest had lost Rob Halford at this point.
Oh,
They're a striking resemblance to at the moment.
look, I just know the name Judas Priest. I don't really know who they are.
Breaking the law.
I'm sorry, I asked.
Deal with the devil. Anyway. This bit was funny. Wilson's being pushed around by everyone in the mosh pit. It's just getting like bounced around and shit. So I did actually find that bit quite funny.
There's a bit, there's a bit here where he goes, great, grand, wonderful, which is exactly the same thing he says in Billy Madison the year after in exactly the same way.
I don't think I've seen Billy Madison. Is it any good?
No, it's terrible.
I see there are bits of it I like. It's a weird film because it's got a very broad and annoying Adam Sandler performance. Like it's very childish. That might have been a good one to do on this. But it's also got some very, very funny moments. There's a bit where someone answers a question in a quiz, and the quiz master gives a response that has me rolling on the floor every single fucking time.
All right, say no more. I'll watch it.
Is John Turturro in that one as well?
No, Steve Buscemi.
Oh right. It's Mr. D when John.
Yeah, John Turturro's in Mr. Deeds. Yeah, Billy Madison is Steve Buscemi, Norm Macdonald, Bradley Whitford, I think, from The West Wing, and RoboCop 3.
Indeed,
all ties together.
It does. It seems like we know what we're doing on this podcast. Anyway, right. So Ian confronts Milo about the CDs and he reveals that they're changing formats and the radio station will no longer be hard rock and they're restaffing everyone. At this point, Ian starts having a fight with Milo. Like,
Did you hear what is it Vicky the secretary? Is that name?
Yvonne. No,
Yvonne.
no, Susie, the one.
Susie, do you hear what she very quietly says in the background?
No.
She says you can just barely hear it. She goes, "Oh, I gave him all those blowjobs for nothing."
Oh no way!
Yeah,
this sounds a PG-13.
Yeah. You can hear it very quietly in the background, like it's very low in the sound mix. But she says it and puts her head in her hands.
Oh, that's funny.
It's so funny.
Oh, I wish I'd seen that.
It's just like a little throwaway nothing in the background. It's very good.
I wonder if that was improv or actually that was part of the script. Oh, that's funny. Back at the whiskey bar, Wilson finds Kayla and tells her about the tape, but the dudes in the club think he's arresting her, so they rip off Wilson's badge, and then he just rips out his nipple like piercing. Like, oh!
That was one of the bits that really stuck with me. That is one of the bits I remember so clearly from the film, was him ripping that guy's nipple piercing out to the point where the guy was calling him fat earlier. I thought that's where it happened.
Right.
And I couldn't quite remember where it happened in the film. I was like, oh no, it's here.
Now, see, I would have preferred that if like they're calling him fat, they're goading him, and he's just had enough. He goes boom. But it just seems like those guys at the radio station got away with it, but this guy in the club didn't get away with it. So I don't know. I get what they're doing.
I also think if you're a guy that's wearing a piercing that goes from your ear to your nose, you wouldn't be going around starting shit with anyone because it's going to be well fucking easy to rip that off.
Yeah. Anyway, back on the phone, Mace is still going on to Doug about his wife. At this point, he starts talking about a pool cleaner, and I'm like, now hang on a minute. Is he specifically referring to Pip, or is it just a coincidence later on? This is what I couldn't work out.
Yeah, I can't work that out. I'm assuming it's a coincidence because he says his wife left him for the pool cleaner.
So Adam Sandler doesn't have a girlfriend. Yeah, okay.
A coincidence.
Yeah,
but it isn't clear. I'll give you that. It isn't clear.
Yeah. Kayla then sees a dog pissing on that tape, but retrieves it. And then we see that Milo's now tied in a chair in an empty studio, and then Rex is giving ridiculous demands to Susie at right down. This bit was funny. He said, I want 67 copies of Moby Dick. And she goes, the book or the movie? I went, oh, they made a book out of
Yeah, I've written that down. That's very well delivered, that line.
Yeah.
It's the thing, all right? Steve Buscemi's really good in this because
Yeah, he is.
he's Steve Buscemi, and this is kind of the point I think where I was younger, where this wouldn't have been the thing I first knew him for. I think I'd have probably seen
Reservoir
I've probably
Dogs.
seen Reservoir Dogs before I saw this
Yeah,
because I'd have seen Reservoir Dogs when I was stupidly young because it was like it's so violent and you shouldn't watch this film, and I'd have immediately gone, well, I'm watching it.
exactly.
And it's so weird for me that Steve Buscemi does this, where he makes all of these great films with, he's with Tarantino, he's with the Coen brothers, he makes all these
Mm,
great kind of
mm.
great indie films, and then he comes and he's in like all of Adam Sandler's movies.
Yeah, they're just great friends,
Like
aren't
he's just in all of his films, and then in a bunch of shit Michael Bay stuff as well.
they? Yeah, yeah. Oh, come on. Con Air's amazing.
Con Air is amazing. It's not Simon West. Simon West, not
It's,
Michael Bay.
it's Michael Bay produced, though, isn't it? Or is it Jerry Bruckheimer? Oh,
Bruckheimer.
no.
No,
Same, same shit. Same shit.
I think it's Bruckheimer and Bay. Yeah, but he's also in The Island. Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah, okay.
Ugh.
Yeah. There's all these weird demands. The rationale is if they demand weird stuff, then they can plead insanity later, which is Pip's idea. It's like, no, this shit would never work. This would
No,
never,
of course it
ever,
fucking
ever
wouldn't.
work.
Do you know how hard it is to plead insanity? To plead insanity, you have to demonstrate that you do not know the difference between right and wrong.
Mm.
So if you make any attempt to cover up anything you've done or to try and get away with a crime, then you can't plead insanity because it shows you knew that it was wrong and it was premeditated. So all these people are like, "Oh, I was insane." It's like if you were insane, you'd have cut someone's head off and walked down the street with it, like swinging it like a
Mm.
handbag and whistling Dixie, right? You would not have buried them and tried to get on with your life as normal. That's not
Yeah.
how insanity works.
Yeah, and covered your tracks and everything. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
no,
not how
definitely not.
insanity works. You might not be mentally regular. In fact, I would dare say you're not mentally regular,
Yeah,
but you're not insane.
you're very
Not
safe.
in that, not in the definition where you can get away with it. It's funny as well when they say, like, in the van, did you find any drugs in the van? He's like, no. I find that unlikely.
Oh, yeah.
Rockers in the 90s, they don't have any drugs in their van. Come
Not,
on.
not even weed. Yeah, come on.
And you certainly don't ask for naked pictures of a member of the Golden Girls.
Oh,
And then
God.
they
That,
probably just think you've got a thing for geriatrics. Like,
that bit is so funny when Brendan Fraser explains it. And only answer goes, yeah, I know who that is. But also, part of their demands is a record contract, and that annoys Chaz because he says it shouldn't be unsolicited. It's just like, but why? Why do you care? Like earlier on, you were getting all pissy because Jimmy Wing wouldn't take your stuff unsolicited. So what difference does it make? Has he now learned that it's wrong?
It's artistic integrity, I think. He wants to be signed because his music is good. He
Hmm.
doesn't want to be signed because he's threatened someone with a gun. He doesn't mind the music getting played because he's threatened someone with a gun. But then if they turn around and say, no, it's shit, I think you'd probably go, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. More flirting with Susie and Pip, and they start making out with Doug Pervin over him. And then Mason's got intel on the guys, including Chaz's real name is Chester. I was like, now, what difference does this make? Why does it matter if he now knows the real names of the people who are taking the building hostage? Why? What does it
I
matter?
think this is the only moment when you're meant to feel like sympathy for them or
Right.
like build a relationship with the band. You want him to succeed because he was nerdy in high school, but it's done such a throwaway way, and then immediately the crowd are like, yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. It just doesn't work like as a
No.
turnaround in terms of for them to root for him.
Yeah. No, agreed. And we'll get there. We'll get to that bit. Milo's on the phone selling ads, and then Chaz discovers him. He's like, do you mind? I'm trying to run a business here. And he's like taking calls with his nose, which I thought was pretty good. Susie and Pip are shagging, and then one of the, which is the bit I remember from the advert. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that bit. One of the SWAT team mentions in the guy's van they found some toys and a bunch of pool cleaning gear. That angers me. So pool cleaning. So yeah, this is when I thought was Pip shagging his wife, but probably no, it's probably just a coincidence.
Nah.
Yeah, Mace calls Doug and tells him to go to the roof, and he's going to give him a gun. I was like, why are you going to give him a gun? Why? This man who doesn't know how to operate a gun, you're going to give him a gun. But that's the
I think you mishears him earlier. He says he's in the Merchant Marines, and he says, "Oh, you're in the Marines."
Yeah, and he was like, and he says, "I was an accountant." He's like, "No, you won't be held to account."
yeah, yeah, that was funny. Chaz is showing Ian his shitty tattoos, which Ian doesn't understand, but Chaz says like he needs to make music as that's what he lives for or something. That's the reason for the Grim Reaper tattoo. I was like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Nah.
Ian
Again,
reveals.
because you're trying to attribute this greater depth to them, and again, it's how stupid are they? Because normally it'd just be because it's just because it's cool. That would be the real answer. That's the real answer why anyone gets that kind of tattoo because they think it's cool.
Hmm.
There's no greater, deeper meaning, and if there is a greater, deeper meaning, then you're an idiot.
Don't you have a Batman tattoo on your arms?
Yeah, it's cool. Like Batman.
Case in point.
Well, yeah, it's not got greater deep. It's not because really, when I think about it, maybe I am the knight.
Oh, right. Sure. Sure. Anyway, moving on. Ian reveals to the crowd that the radio station is now becoming easy listening, so he starts to interview Chaz to promote the band, which he does very, very poorly. And then Kayla arrives at the station as a SWAT team member gives Doug the machine gun, and then Milo wheels himself off under the pretense to take a piss, but then he ends up walking on Susie and Pip having it off. I'm like, oh, he's like, there better not be any fluids on that couch.
That's what he says.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, horrible. The power has been cut off to the station. I was like, no, what was the point of this? Just so they'd stop holding the. Oh, so they can't play the demo. Yeah, because
Yeah.
O'Malley knows that's what their end game is. But then why would he piss them off like that? They could end up shooting hostages by doing that. I don't know. I just thought switching the power off was a bit of an odd thing to do.
It's like a Die Hard reference that doesn't work.
No,
Like,
no, it doesn't. Because it immediately gets put back on.
Back on again. Yeah.
Yeah. So the power's been cut off to the station, so they put Milo in the closet at this point, and then out of nowhere, fucking Harold Ramis turns up, which was such a nice cameo because he's not even on the credits, is he? So when he
There's our
showed up, I was
second
like,
Ghostbuster.
it's amazing. And he's posing as Chris Moore from Capitol Records, but the guys know he's full of shit because they start asking him questions about Van Halen. And then Lemmy, they said, who win a wrestling match out? And Lemmy and God. And he was like, Lemmy went, yeah, wrong. Lemmy is God. Get out of here. Oh, for Harold Ramis. He's only in it so briefly, but he's really fucking funny in this bit. Rex starts throwing concert tickets to everyone, and then Chaz demands they put the power back on, and then starts a Rodney King chant. I was like, sorry, why are you doing this? And it seems a bit to do that.
I think, yeah, it feels a bit weird. I think this is a very unsubtle Dog Day Afternoon reference. Have you ever seen Dog Day Afternoon?
No, but I know this film is loosely spoofs this.
Yeah. So there's a bit where he starts saying Attica, like Attica, Attica.
Right.
And I think they're spoofing that using a sort of more up-to-date reference point. This is also the point I've written down was where the cops would have shot them.
Oh yeah.
Because they wouldn't be allowed to run around outside with a crowd with loaded weapons. The risk of them opening fire would be too high. So even though there was a third one in, they'd have still just shot them at this point and got two out and taken the risk. Because otherwise they could with an automatic or semi-automatic weapon just suddenly open fire on the crowd and kill countless people. So there's absolutely no way in real life that they wouldn't have been immediately shot dead.
Yeah. So many plot holes. And then Kayla talks to Chaz, but then Mace reveals Chaz's real name is Chester, and then Chaz reveals he used to be a geek. And then this goes nowhere because everyone in the crowd starts being like, oh, I used to be like in the school band. And then Lemmy from Motorhead is there as well, which I thought was really good. And then someone shouts out, I used to masturbate constantly. Then his mate stopped beating the shit out of him.
I just sagely nodded at that point, like,
Yeah.
I can relate, yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
That was fucking funny. Kayla knees Mace in the nuts, and then Chaz and Kayla start making out, and then Rex starts Chaz chant, and then Mace is pelted with litter. Is this the last we see of Mace now? I think he just gets in the SWAT van, and I don't think we see him again, do we?
No, I don't think we do. I think that's it.
I think
that's the end of the SWAT. I think that's the end of the SWAT guy.
He was funny though. The brief time he was in, he was very funny. Kayla's brought inside the studio with the tape, but Rex sees that the tape is fucked. At this point, they just start arguing back and forth. They love each other. They don't love each other. This all got very annoying for me. I was like, sorry,
again,
what's going on?
Her performance is not the best performance in this film.
Yeah, no, it's not good. So she throws a chair through the window and it destroys the radio equipment. And then Chaz starts explaining his crazy rationale for all of this. And all Kayla wants to hear is that Chaz loves her. I was like, wait, what? But didn't they already say that earlier on in the film? I don't know. All of this just doesn't make any sense. And then the ridiculous demands have arrived, which the cops are assembling. Like Chris Farley's put like yogurt into a football helmet or something like that. Weird.
I forgot to mention earlier, just when Kayla goes inside, she wallops Chris Farley. and it's like that's. And she wallops one of the. It's either Chris Farley. So she wallops the. Yeah, it's Mace. Yeah, she wallops Mace.
Yeah.
That's assaulting a police officer.
Yeah,
that's prison time.
And why did she do that? Just because he revealed his name was Chester? I was like, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Weird. We see that Milo's trying to open the door handle with his tongue. I was like, oh, made me feel really sick. Like, do you know how many inadvertent penises have probably touched that door handle? It's disgusting.
I love that's where you went straight away. There's probably been penises on that door handle.
That's what Stu thinks about every door handle. You should see him go through any door. He just like puts his sleeve over it. It's just like,
I do.
There could have been penises.
I do. I'm a bit of a clean freak with shit like that. So yeah, I hate
you know that everything in this world has had a cock on it at least once.
Absolutely.
But everything.
Or it's like people go to the toilet, they don't wash their hands, and they open door handles. So inadvertently, there's a cock on that door. So I'm just like, I'm not touching that.
I don't wash my hands. My penis is the cleanest bit of me.
I'm never shaking hands with you again.
My hands are dirtier than my penis. If anything, anyway. I shouldn't be opening the doors with my penis afterwards.
I mean, I've asked you not to. Anyway, please, for love of God, let's move on. Right, so
Rex is difficult. The physics alone don't make a lot of sense, especially with one of those round door handles. You're there for hours trying to get purchase.
It's like, Mike, why are you late again? Funny story.
I've got a can-do attitude and a difficult door handle.
Right, anyway, moving on. So Rex manages to escape.
What he said, what Milo said when he gets put into the cupboard. He's like, my aunt was buried alive.
No. How do I keep missing all these throwaway lines? My aunt was buried alive.
Yeah, no, my aunt was buried alive.
Oh, that's really good.
That was his best line in the film, I think.
Yeah,
and I missed it. Right, as Rex lets Carter bring out to demand stuff, they accidentally reveal that the gun is fake. So Marcus and Carter run away shouting that the guns are fake, and then they get arrested. But then they start shooting pepper sauce into Milo's eyes. And then the SWAT team go to storm the building, but then Doug comes out the air vent with a real gun, which Ian knocks out of his hand and it starts firing everywhere. So then the cops pull back and, oh, actually, no, they do have real guns. I don't think any of this would happen. I don't think any of this would happen at all.
The second that gun went off, they'd have stormed the building and shot them.
Yeah, exactly. Because at this point,
probably killed two or three of the hostages, but that's an acceptable loss rate.
Yeah. And at this point, Ian gives Chaz the real gun as he supports his claws. But no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. At this point, he'd probably just be like, right, back up, I'm going outside of the cops or something. And then Rex shoots a fire extinguisher at Doug, and that's the last we see of Doug. He just sort of retreats back into the air vent, and that's it. We don't see him again either.
He lives in the air vent now.
Yep, forever. Chaz speaking to O'Malley on the phone, furious, and he said the record executive will be here soon. And then, Jimmy Wing arrives to discuss the contract, and Milo says that he'd be the negotiator, but,
Here he comes, he's like, B. Arthur, outstanding.
He wants 10%, but Ian's like, no, take 5%. He was like, okay, fine. And
then the line that says, my ex-boyfriend, was it? My ex-boyfriend was a model, and one time they stole his shoes.
That's what Kayla says. Yeah.
You've got to be careful. My ex-boyfriend was a model, and one time they stole his shoes. What does that even mean?
Oh no. This is why I think some of this shit was ad-libbed, because it's just so random. For some reason then Carter wants to come back in despite escaping, and they just send him on his way. It's like, why would he want to come back in? Is it because but there's a really good party going on outside? Why would he want to come back in with people with the guns?
Yeah, and he legged it out. I was like that when they broke outside, the Marcus is there and they're trying to arrest him.
Yeah, immediately. Rex is setting up tape decks, and Pip is sad they will go to jail. And then Milo and Jimmy are working on the contract, and Chaz is eating a burrito with that gun for the hot sauce. It's like all of the funny bits we're talking about do not include Brendan Fraser. We've been talking about, this happened, this person said this, and this person did that. It's always like we
Brendan Fraser's the straight man at the centre of it all. Which is, I think, again, he's slightly, because he does lovable and goofy quite well. Like, he's quite charming, but he's just miscast. Yeah,
totally. Ian says the equipment is proper fucked and they can't do anything to play the demo in the air. And then the record contract is brought to Chaz, who signs it, but then he realises that Jimmy or Milo haven't heard the demo at all. So then he says, well, this is bullshit, just wipes his ass on the contract. It's like, fair play, stick it to the system. And then what happens then? Jimmy explains
invalid.
Yeah.
There is signed that
contract.
I've been kicked out of many a business meeting for attempting to ruin contracts that way.
Yeah.
But like, well, you signed it. I was like, yes, but I think you'll find it's now got shit on it.
Lots and lots of shit.
What? You're fired. And with good cause.
Yeah. Jimmy explains that they've got so much media exposure. He's already a rock star, so they won't go to jail. I was like, no, bullshit. They would. They would absolutely go to jail.
Oh, I don't know.
Afterwards.
The point he says where Vince Neil killed someone and he only went to jail for 3 months that's true. Vince Neil did kill someone.
Well, I don't know who Vince Neil is, so there you go.
Motley
Alex?
Crue, lead singer.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Motley.
yes. Sorry. Yeah, that was part of the trivia that I read. So, yeah, that's what that
Yeah.
reference was. There you go. Wow, that's fucked up.
Feels like a bit of a dark thing to throw in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Actually did happen.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Jimmy makes a call to O'Malley and demands a stage and equipment be flown in so the Lone Rangers can give live performance. Pip's dressed up as a Lone Ranger for some reason. I feel kind of goofy. The rest of them have really shitty props as well. And then the guys are on stage, but they realise they'll be lip syncing, so they refuse to do it, and they don't care about the record deal anymore. It's like, we care about it, we don't care about it, we care about it, we don't care about it. And then Ian calls the crowd over as the band starts smashing all the instruments up, and then crowd surf, and then cut to a few months later, we see them playing live in prison, managed by Ian backstage, and then we get a bit of a postscript explaining that they served 3 months in prison for kidnapping, theft, assault with hot pepper sauce, and their album went live in prison, went triple platinum.
And they would have gone to prison for years.
Years and years and years.
They have taken hostages. As far as they know, they fired a live weapon at a crowd.
Yeah.
Property damage, assaulting police officers. Years.
Yes.
Or if they hadn't already been shot the second they got onto that stage.
Yeah, it could have just been a ruse, isn't it, to get them outside and bang.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have been a ruse to get outside so they could shoot them.
Yeah. And then we get credits to the Ramones. Which Ramones song was it, Alex? Which Ramones song?
The version I had cut off when it got to the Folsom Prison, because I was watching it on a perfectly legal stream.
Sure, that I may or may not have provided you.
Yes.
Did you get to the bit where Brendan Fraser starts singing, or should I say, Brendan Fraser attempts to sing?
Yes. Yeah.
He cannot sing.
Oh, it was actually him doing it. I just assumed someone who's not a singer. They're just.
It was him covering a band. I don't know whose song it was, but it was an
they wrote that for the album, for the film, apparently.
So let's rewind back. We were like 10, 11, 12, whatever, when we watched this movie, right? So let's start. When we were kids, what did we love about this film? So first, I'll go to you, Alex. What did you love about this when you were a kid?
And I just lapped everything up that had like rock music in it at the time.
Yeah.
And I loved Wayne's World, Empire Records, like all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, if it's anything like that, it's going to be great. And like, I didn't have it in such high regard as those films kind of afterwards, but I still remember enjoying it and just, like I've wanted to be in a rock band since I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. So it just spoke to me as a young person, and it was funny as well, and it didn't help that didn't hurt even that Adam Sandler was getting it on a sofa.
Well, yeah.
You're like, that's the life I want to live.
That's the life I want. I want to be Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I can think of worse people to be. I can think of better people to be. Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Awesome. No, all valid points. Oh, what about you, Smith? When you were a young man, what did you think about this film?
Well, as you know, I've always wanted to be in a. The fucking music T-shirt I'm wearing is Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Well-renowned musical act. Yeah. So what did I like about it? I was younger. I think I just liked the whole spirit of it. I mean, I did like rock music, and I did like, it weaved together elements of films that I liked when I was a kid. So it had that kind of Die Hard feel because it had that hostage element. It was a comedy, so it had the funny moments, and I quite like the physical comedy. I just quite thought it was generally quite funny when I was little. It had Steve Buscemi in it, who I'd started to sort of identify from other things. You start to piece together your film knowledge of, it's Ghostbuster. No, it's another Ghostbuster, and it's it's this person and that person. I know that, and I think it's just one of those films that I just found very easy to watch.
Yeah, it's a very easy watch. I mean, it falls in the same categories like Wayne's World, Bill and Ted, and all that sort of stuff. And then lesser ones that we've mentioned before, like Biodome, just real sort of bro things, but not so much the bro. Like this one is more about the music, because even Wayne's World isn't really about the music, is it? It's just about them fucking around and just having fun.
Wayne's World does have better music, though.
Yes.
Um, and it's funny actually because you mentioned it does have a feel of Wayne's World about it. And obviously, it's what, a couple of years after Wayne's World, so it's clear
Yeah.
that they're trying to kind of hit that as well. They're trying to get that um, that get kind of that feeling to it.
Mm,
Doesn't really get it because I
no.
think Wayne's World's more of just an out and out silly Saturday Night Live spoof film, so it doesn't quite have that. But it also is funny you mentioned Empire Records because I thought Empire Records sucks.
Oh, I never seen it.
Oh, I think that film sucks.
I haven't seen it in a long time again, but like it's this film doesn't have like the tent pole song,
No.
right? So like Wayne's World has your Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yeah.
Yes.
which is like iconic. Like Empire Records, it's AC/DC if you want blood.
Mm,
Like if you go School of Rock, it's like it's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, it's like
mm.
they have the tent pole song, or like God gave rock and roll to you. Like when you go like Bill and Ted,
Yeah.
that like no matter how bad the film was up until that point, you were like, this song rules. I want to see that again. Like that bit's really cool. Everything comes together and it's like a big show. But
Yeah.
yeah, this just doesn't have it.
No. No, agreed. Well, okay, that moves in quite nicely. So what do we love or hate about it now? Alex, you first again.
Yeah, so like that's the main thing for me. It's kind of like for a film that's like about rock musicians and wanting to make it as a rock and roll band, it doesn't give a good portrayal of the
Yeah,
music
agreed.
because most of the songs that they put in it are not the best representation, even of the band it is. Like so the main song when they're in the radio station, I'm the One, is a Van Halen song,
Mm.
but they're playing the Four Non-Blondes version of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to have White Zombie in the film, but you're not going to pay Thunder Kiss, and you're not going to do More Human Than Human. Like, you completely missed like an opportunity to actually win people over just in terms of rock is good because listen to these good songs and it can, be cathartic and a really nice experience. And I don't get any of the love for the genre from it. Watching it
Yeah.
back now,
I think
and it wouldn't encourage other people that weren't rock fans to go, oh, I'm going to give rock music a go because I liked that bit.
you never get past the sense, really, I think, with this, that it's written by and directed by people with only a passing knowledge or interest in the music, and that
Mm,
the main band are actors playing musicians. You never get the sense that these people are actually a band or could actually be a cohesive band because they don't even look like they could be a band because they all seem to be repping different parts of or different genres of rock music in the way they dress and the way they
mm,
act.
yeah. Okay,
Def-
well,
yeah. But and the other thing, as I said, like I just think they made some really odd choices. Already mentioned it, but there should have been some build up so you actually liked the Lone Rangers. Should have been smash cuts like
yeah.
Life is Hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Could have done like a lot of work in like 30 seconds of smash cuts, like a la lots of other films that would have stood you in good stead.
Mm,
Chris Farley, if you're going to use him, the MacGuffin should have been better and there should have been more physical comedy with him, like trying to find the tape to try and save all the people.
yeah, yeah.
The and they could have cut down on the extraneous characters. So like Michael Richards served really no purpose through the
No,
film.
no, he doesn't.
Yeah, and more of the people that were actually really good in terms of Mace, who held together basically the comedy through
Yeah,
most of like the second act of the film.
Yeah.
yeah. Was there anything you loved about it, Alex? Did you come back to it as like, oh, I love that, or was it just a few jokes here and there?
Yeah, there was a few bits here and there, and like Michael, I think it was like, oh, Adam Sandler wasn't as annoying in
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Like,
my
I was
positive.
yeah,
legitimately surprised by that in a way that I thought he was going to be really, really annoying in the way that he is in just about everything that he's in.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's carry on with you, Smith. So, what did you love or hate about it now?
So it's one of those films where I wouldn't say that I loved anything about it, but love would be a bit strong. And the same way, I wouldn't say I hated anything about it because hate would be a bit strong. I think there were some very funny moments. Um, Chris Farley, as I said, is I just could watch him do anything. He's very, very funny. The bit after the real gunner got off, the way he stood up was just hilarious because he went into almost like a downward dog yoga pose and then just kind of sprang up, which for a big guy is quite an impressive bit of physical comedy. um, I thought the performances were all pretty good. It's hard to hate. It's a very easy watch. It's a very easy film to have on. not something you go, that was terrible, because it's not. There's nothing terrible. The performances are all fine. They're all good. Like there's nobody that's apart from Kayla that's giving a bad performance. The writing is fine. Like it's not standout, but it's not bad. It's not annoying. There are worse, far worse films from this time
Mm.
that are trying the same type of comedy thing and getting it very, very wrong.
Yeah. Cool.
But then
All
to
right.
say I'd love anything about it would be really
Mm.
sort of disingenuous.
All right. Well, let's pause that now and let's move on to Smith Trivia.
Smith Trivia, right. So obviously 1994, budget of 15 million, it grossed 5 million. So it was a big flop. Later became more of a cult film on VHS, directed by Michael Lehman, who's got a hell of a weird career. Directed Heathers,
Yep.
Hudson Hawk,
Ugh.
yeah, 40 Days and 40 Nights,
Ugh.
My Giant.
What?
It's a basketball film starring Billy Crystal.
Oh God.
Yeah, as a sports agent who finds a giant to go and play basketball, sort of an Eastern European giant who actually was a basketball player. So it's sort of broadly true story. I've never seen it. And then The Truth About Cats and Dogs.
Oh, terrible resume.
No, it's a fucking weird resume. It's written by a guy called Rich Wilkes, whose most notable screen credit is Triple X, and then characters, which means they had to give him a credit for Triple X2 and Triple X: The Return of Xander Cage. Which is a fucking terrible film. Metallica, Cannibal Corpse, and Testament, who I'm reliably informed are bands, were all asked to appear in the film, but didn't. I don't know why they couldn't have just put Ace of Base or something.
Oh yeah.
That'd be good. What are Ace of Base up to?
They're going for like that Ace Ventura thing where you go into the band and it's just like really off-putting and the guy just nodding. But,
yeah.
Oh yeah, because Cannibal Corpse are an Ace Ventura, aren't they? Yeah.
KPPX, as mentioned, is the same location as the Nakatomi Plaza, Fox Plaza, which must be easy to shoot on if it's a movie that's involving Fox, which this was. It was the final film to use the 1981 20th Century Fox logo, apparently. They updated it after this. In the year it was released, it made a number of the worst films lists. A few people liked it, but most people hated it and thought it was amongst the worst films of the year. I mentioned earlier that Motley Crue's lead singer, Vince Neil, did indeed kill someone whilst drink driving, and only served 3 months and paid a $2.5 million fine. John Cusack apparently was the first choice for Chaz. It wouldn't have worked.
No.
It wouldn't have worked. That would have been bad casting as well. I think, and the only other thing that I had on my list was, and I mentioned it earlier about Pauly Shore trying to get Brendan Fraser not to be in it. There was also another story that Adam Sandler told where the director didn't want Brendan Fraser to be in it, so Adam Sandler sort of made him put Brendan Fraser in it. It all seemed a bit. It kind of feels a bit like it didn't happen.
Yeah. I don't think it happened.
No. And the only other bit is Brendan Fraser and the actress who plays his girlfriend were both in the film School Ties, where they also played boyfriend and girlfriend. That's really the only trivia I could find on this. It was a bit low on the ground.
Yeah. Alex, did you have anything supplementary to that?
Yeah, so like apparently the scene where Pip's sleeping with the lady in the radio station was a deliberate nod to the Chili Peppers Cocks on Socks
Ah.
and stuff, because that actually happened at the Whiskey in LA. The nod on top of the roof where they refused to mime was Nirvana famously refused to mime on top of the Pops in the UK around that time, but it had also been done by like the Clash, the Who, and Iron Maiden before that. And the final scene is actually filmed in Folsom Prison, where Johnny Cash did his Live in Folsom Prison. So that was actually a nod to Johnny Cash at the time as well.
Awesome.
Yep. Other than that, the intro music, like Born to Raise Hell, was written for another band, Ziziskin, by Lemmy. Never got released by them, and they had Whitfield Crane and Ice Cube on that. So does anyone know where Whitfield Crane was from?
Nope.
I don't even know that those are words that you've just said.
So Whitfield Crane was from Ugly Kid Joe. So I Hate Everything About You fame.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've got that album. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Ugly Kid Joe. Yeah.
Who the fuck is Ugly Kid Joe?
They sang Everything About You, and they done a cover of Cats in the Cradle.
I don't know either of these songs.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Are these not Creedence Clearwater Revival? That, you see, that's where you've gone wrong.
It's 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
Creedence. I don't know it.
There
Sorry.
you go.
Yeah, and then finally, as I already mentioned it, but they used "I'm the One," but the Four Non Blondes version, who are famous for "What's Going On."
What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And she went on to write songs for Pink, Christina Aguilera, Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, and Celine Dion.
So what you're saying is we could indict her for war crimes.
Yes, we could. And also, why not just use the Van Halen version?
Well, exactly. I know. I'm sorry. Just completely upset you, and I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. I mean,
Right.
unbelievable.
Right then, this has been a lengthy discussion. So the final verdict, and I'll start with you, Alex. Does this hold up?
No.
No. Smith, does it hold up?
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfectly watchable.
I'm going to say no, and I mainly agree with Alex on everything. It's just I see what they're trying to do, and they fail. If you take it as just a silly comedy, cool. But in fact, it's trying to embrace the music of the time and we're rock and roll, we really want to make it. And I think it fails to do that. It could have been about anything. They could have hijacked anything. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like they've just thrown the music in there as just like a side thought. So it's yeah, and it's not as funny as it was. But there are a couple of bits where I did crack up, but I wanted this to be a Who. I wanted to be dying with laughter. I wanted this to be like The Wedding Singer or something like that. Something that's just consistently fucking funny all throughout, really, really entertaining. And it's just for me, some of the jokes just don't work, and there's squandered opportunities to do other stuff for the movie. I don't know.
You see, I think it might come down to a mood thing, right? So I kind of agree with all of that. I do think that it's not particularly laugh out funny, but it's a very easy watch, right? It's a very I have watched films of this length before for this podcast and felt like I wanted to claw my own fucking eyes out by the end of it. Whereas this, I was like, happily just do 90 minutes, lovely stuff, out I go, great. Didn't hate it, wouldn't run to watch it again, but wouldn't like turn it off if it was on.
But that's my thing. Would I ever watch this again? Probably not. And I wouldn't recommend it. If someone says, "Oh, I really want to watch a funny film," I wouldn't go, "Oh, Airheads." Do you know what I mean? I think that's
No,
my
but if
problem
someone
with
said,
it.
"Oh, I was thinking of watching Airheads tonight," you wouldn't go, "Nah, don't bother."
I go, "It's all right." That's just it.
Yeah, see, there you go. But to me, that's fine. Do I love it as much as I did when I was young? Nah.
No, no.
But then I've
It's
seen
just
more films since then. I've seen better films.
exactly. Cool. All right. So next, oh no. So the final verdict is it's one of those weird ones where it kind of holds up. Although I would say me and Alex cancel you out, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
it's 2-1. I've lost this battle.
All right, fine. Then no, it doesn't hold
So I
up.
shall
Sorry,
so I
folks.
shall have to punish you with my next choice.
Okay, yeah, because it's your nomination next. So what is it?
How dare you? What's the film that first comes to mind when you think Steven Spielberg?
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Well, Jaws, probably.
Okay, let's narrow it down. What's the first film that comes to mind when you think Steven Spielberg in the early 90s?
Jurassic Park.
The other one.
The other with arachnophobia.
He didn't do Arachnophobia.
Yeah, but it's ambulance.
Okay.
Oh, look, I don't know. I don't talk this tomfoolery.
Think Childhood Wonder. Think Grown Man in Tights. Think Bring Me Peter Pan.
Oh, Hook. Oh, I was not expecting that. Hook. Okay, well, Hook is actually on the list for us to cover, so we finally got there. Okay, cool. So we are doing Hook. That's not what we discussed in prep, but that's fine.
Wild card, bitches.
There we go. All right, well, Hook it is for next time we regroup. Unfortunately, not with Alex though. But Alex, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much. And now this is your opportunity to plug your socials and whatever's going on and any gigs you've got coming up. So the floor is yours.
Yes, so presuming this goes out on the 30th of January, if you've got time to grab a ticket, we are playing at the Fighting Cocks in Kingston, which is actually a real venue name. I've not just made that up. And on the 14th of Feb, Valentine's Day, we're playing at Club 85 in Hitchin, and the club's not doing so well. So if you could come down, show some support for the venue, that'd be good. They've also got a bit of a Patreon going on to save the venue. There's not many left. So yeah, please do come support Riff Dealer and many other local bands.
Awesome. And do you have any Instagram or Twitter or any other handles you want to plug?
We're on Instagram, just Riff Dealer UK. We're on Facebook, so the same. Bandcamp is where you'll go to see the song that we have released. We've just finished recording an album, and that'll be out soon.
Awesome stuff. Right. Well, continuing with the shameless promotion, we're going to plug our socials now. So you can reach us on email, it doesn't hold up podcast@gmail.com, or on Instagram, it doesn't hold up podcast. We're on Twitter, or X as it's now known, it doesn't hold up pod. We are on YouTube, it doesn't hold up podcast, and we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other places to listen to podcasts. So give us a good review and keep those suggestions coming through, because we are compiling a massive list and we will get to them eventually. So, Alex, I'm going to turn to you. Is there anything you would like to say either on Airheads or anything else before we get out of here?
Yeah, as they say in the film, if it's too loud, you're too old.
Quite right. Smith, is there anything you would like to say on Airheads before we get out of here and regroup for Hook?
Yes, I masturbated constantly.
And I just want to say, rock on.